Dear children, welcome you all. In this session, reveals you the book back questions of class 10 science. Answers briefly. First question is define inertia, give its classification. How can we define inertia? The inherent property of a body to resist any change in its state of rest or the state of uniform motion unless it is influenced upon by an external unbalanced force and is known as inertia. This is for question number 1. Answer to the question number 1. This is the capacity of the body. It is not at all changing from its position unless you are giving some external force. That force would be unbalanced force. This is the simplest concept. Okay, inherent property already existing. This property already existing inside the body which is resisting any change in its state. The body may be at rest or of uniform motion. If it is at rest, if you apply some unbalanced force, then only it will moving from one place to another place. Or if the body already in motion, if you want to make it to rest, bring back to its rest position, then you have to supply some external force. That external force simply should not be the balanced force and it is unbalanced force. What are the types of inertia? Inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Types of inertia: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Second question: classify the types of force based on their application. Based on the direction of the force, we can classify the force into two types. One is like parallel forces, unlike parallel forces. Come to the third question. If a 5 Newton and 15 Newton forces are acting opposite to one another, note the point. These two forces are acting opposite to one another, and which one is the highest force? Which one is the bigger one? 15 Newton and smaller 5 Newton. So you take F2 as 15 and F1 as 5 because the direction of the force, that is the resultant force, acting in the direction of the biggest force. What is the biggest force here? 15 Newton. So the direction of the force lies in the direction of the force 15 Newton, along the direction of the force 15 Newton. So what is given? F1 is equal to 5 Newton, F2 is equal to 15 Newton. The resultant force F will be F2 minus F1 because F2 is greater than F1 and 15 minus 5 is equal to 10 Newton. The direction of the resultant force act along the direction of the force 15 Newton. Differentiate mass and weight. Mass is the basic property of a body. Mass of a body is defined as the quantity of matter contained in the body. How much quantity of matter? Matter is nothing but, we already know, matter is of three types: gas, liquid and solid. That is defined here. How much quantity of the matter that a body contains is the notification of mass. Okay, its SI unit is kilogram. But if you come to the case of weight of a body is defined as the gravitational force acting on the body. 5 kilogram or 20 kilogram, 30 kilogram of mass, whatever it may be you take, then how much gravitational force acting on the body called as weight. Okay, and it is due to the earth's gravity alone. Weight of a body is defined as the gravitational force exerted on it is due to the earth's gravity alone. You should not take another forces, any other forces. You consider only the earth's gravitational force. Then weight is equal to gravitational force, that is mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration due to gravity, m into g. We can simply denote W is equal to mass m into g. G acceleration due to gravity for earth is equal to 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, this is the answer for the differentiation between mass and weight. You can classify this into a tabular column also. Okay, this is the gravitational pull acting on the body, and this is the inherent property of the body. That is the basic property of a body used to mention the quantity of matter which is containing in it, can be called as mass. Okay, question number 4. Question number 5. Define moment of couple. The rotating effect of a couple is known as moment of a couple. Two equal and opposite forces acting on a particular point, then the line of action of these two forces are not one and the same. If they are acting at different points, then there arises a couple. Okay, then this will give you the rotating effect. The rotating effect of a couple is known as moment of a couple. Okay, moment of a couple M is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the line of action of the forces. This is already explained in one of the video. I will give you the explanations in the description box. You can go and verify it. Okay, moment of a couple M is equal to force into perpendicular distance between the line of action of the forces. Okay, M is equal to F into S. Unit is Newton meter. Next one, state the principle of moments. When a number of like or unlike parallel forces act on a rigid body which is in equilibrium, then the algebraic sum of the moments in the clockwise direction is equal to the algebraic sum of the moments in the anti-clockwise direction. You take this example, then F1 force is acting and the perpendicular distance is d1, and F2 force is acting on the system and the perpendicular distance is d2. Then if we calculate F1 and D1 and F2 and D2, these two will be same. That is, the moment in the clockwise direction is equal to moment in the anti-clockwise direction. Next question is state Newton's second law. The force acting on a body is directly proportional to, see here, F is equal to m into A. The force acting on a body is directly proportional to the mass and the acceleration. Force is the product of the mass and the acceleration. The change in the momentum takes place in the direction of the force. Okay. Then next one is why a spanner with a long handle is preferred to tighten screws in the heavy vehicles. Because we have to consider the perpendicular distance. A spanner with a long handle give high torque with less force. You can apply only less amount of the force to do heavier work so that we can easily remove the tires. We can easily remove the tires from the car by simply applying and using a spanner with a long handle. You are applying just a simple force that is multiplied and give a high torque. So only a spanner with a long handle give high torque with less force. That is given as tau is equal to force into distance. So tighten screws in heavy vehicles, it is easy with using long handle spanner. Okay. Then while catching a cricket ball, the fielder lowers his hands backwards by longer intervals of time to catch the ball, resulting is a lesser impulse on his hands. If he lower his hands to some extent, then the force acting on his hands will be reduced. In order to reduce the force, the fielder lowers his hands so that the effect of the force will be minimum. For this purpose only, he lowers his hands. Okay, what is the answer? Longer interval of time to catch the ball, resulting is a lower impulse acting on his hands. How does an astronaut float in the space shuttle? An astronaut is falling freely. Have you ever seen this? An astronaut is falling freely around the Earth due to their huge orbital velocity. An astronaut is falling freely around the Earth due to their huge orbital velocity. The space shuttle and the astronaut have equal acceleration. They are under free fall condition. So they are in the state of weightlessness. Okay, they are falling freely around the earth due to the large orbital velocity, and also there won't be any gravitational force acting there, and the space shuttle and does not have equal acceleration. They are under free fall condition, so they are in the state of weightlessness.